Good morning, YouTubers. I'm going to give you a little review. I just got back from my Norwegian escape cruise and thought I'd give a little review on the Norwegian escape smoking policy. I looked for something like this before I took the cruise, so I kind of like to use YouTube as an information highway, and I thought I would kind of give you guys an update on it. And if you're planning a cruise on Norwegian escape, what to expect if you're a smoker. I don't even want to get into the aspects of it. I know it's bad for you. I get all that, but I'm also, I spend over $3,200 for this trip. I pay just as much as many customers, probably a lot more than others. I upgraded to a mini suite. I'm, a valuable customer, and I respect other people's space. And obviously, I get the rules of today as far as smoking. I know it's not popular and people don't like it, and I respect other people's space, and I expect people to respect me the same way. So anyway, let's get on to this Norwegian escape smoking policy. It, Personally, my opinion, I've taken multiple cruises. I've cruised on Carnival. I've cruised on Royal Caribbean, and now Norwegian. Um, if I were you, I would book somewhere else. Uh, of the three that I just mentioned, Royal or Norwegian is by far the most. How can I put this? Unsmoking favorable of all the cruises I've taken. They don't have any well-defined smoking areas. What areas they do have are cramped and very limited. I'll give you some hints if you do decide to take a cruise on the escape boat of where to go. It took us 2 days to figure out where we could even have a cigarette without getting beat down and demoralized, as most of us smokers know nowadays. We're the vagrant around the corner that has a sneak, like we're smoking contraband or something. But anyway, I don't want to get on that high horse. I do think that that we should get the same respect, and should I don't, like I said, I don't want to infringe on other people's rights. I don't want to make it uncomfortable for other people, but at the same time, we are paying customers and we deserve some respect and some customer service, as far as giving us convenience of if we've got our habit to somewhere to do it. Well, anyway, let's get on to this. Okay, first, obviously there's no smoking in the rooms. We had a balcony suite. No smoking on the balcony, even though I, for the life of me, cannot figure that one out. I've been taking cruises for years, forever. It was never a problem to have a cigarette on the balcony. It's outside. It's a pretty much isolated area. Other than somebody getting a wind of it through 3 cabins down from you, I do not see the problem in it. And me, if somebody had, if they had allowed it, and I've been able to smoke in the balcony, if somebody next to me, said, you're getting to me or something, I would have put it out and wait till they went back in, and been respectful that way. But anyway, back to, you're not allowed to smoke anywhere in the cabins. You're not allowed to smoke in the balcony. Essentially, you're really not. I could tell they'd just sooner you not smoke at all anywhere on the boat, which I guess is fine, except for, I'm a paying customer, as I said before. And if that's going to be your policy, then, I don't need to give you my money. I'll find somebody that does care enough for my business and my money that they will allocate that space for me to where I can enjoy my trip just as much as, somebody else. So anyway, if you do end up going on an escape, I'll give you this. There's at the very aft of the boat, up on the 16th floor, there's a place called H2O. There's a small area, which it's obvious Norwegian is doing a terrible job of managing their smoking policy, because the places where smoking is, I could say probably on the cruise I was on, 30% of the people were smokers, and there's 5,000 people on the boat. So you do the math. If you give like little small places that you can smoke, it was cramped. There was not enough seating. People had to stand. Every time we went in a casino, which by the way is only about maybe 30% smoking, I announce this on the speaker constantly. If you're not playing a machine, you're not allowed to smoke in this area. Well, people wouldn't be cramping in there if you actually gave them a fair area to smoke in. According to Norwegian's policy, which I pulled up online, supposedly you can, on the starboard side, any area that's not near a restaurant or a door opening that's outside, that you're able to smoke. Well, that might be the case, but of those places we found, there was never any seating area, there was never any ashtrays, there was never any even signs saying that you could smoke here. So, you were at two aspects here. One, you weren't even sure whether you could smoke there. The other is you were put in a situation where you had to stand outside in the hot sun with no seating and no ashtray. So then you have to take, your butts back. I mean, I'm not the type of person that's gonna take a butt and throw it on the floor and leave it for somebody else to have to pick up. So typically what we end up would do is we'd have to, smoke our cigarette and then put it out, and then I'd have to carry around an old nasty put out cigarette in my pocket till I could find a trash can to put it in. So anyway, back to places you could smoke H2O spice. Supposedly, like I said, starboard side. Um, Other than that, really, that was pretty much it. Of all things, the only other place we found outside that they did have ashtrays was by the kiddie pool, which is stupidity in itself. So you block off many adult areas that could have easily been a smoking area, and then you give one small area again that is by the kiddie pool. Um, like I said, if you're going to take a cruise and you're looking for a smoking friendly cruise, Norwegian is not the one you want to go to. I would say book with another one. From my experience, Royal Caribbean, uh, I thought they had a really good policy. They had the same thing. They had one side of the boat was allowed smoking, but they had nice seating areas. They had ashtrays available for you. And you weren't put in a corner, and you weren't put in a hallway with no seats. I mean, they actually had areas where you could sunbathe and have a cigarette if you pleased. Uh, like I said, I get the whole smoking controversy. It, I wished I hadn't started, 35 years ago. Believe me, I'm not an advocate for smoking. I would tell anybody that's thinking about starting smoking, don't. It's a terrible habit, and it's a horrible habit to try to quit. But anyway, like I said, I didn't really want to get on the soapbox about that. This is more about information about if you're taking a cruise and you're planning on going on a Norwegian Escape specifically, because that's the only boat I've been on with Norwegian. They are they're rude too. They I got so frustrated because I didn't know where to smoke that I'd find a corner somewhere to smoke, and they would jump all over me and say, well, you can't smoke here. And it's like, well, it's outside, there's nobody else around, I don't even have a place to sit here. Well, you need to go down so and so, and they'd say so and so, but they wouldn't give you. That's a big boat, and like I said, I spent 2.5, 3 days to even find a place that I felt comfortable to have a cigarette, and then it was in places that were overcramped because that's the only place that other smokers could find to have a cigarette. So my suggestion is, if you're going to take a Norwegian cruise and you're curious about the smoking policy, it stinks. It's one of the worst that I've been on. Carnival wasn't bad. Royal Caribbean, none of them are great anymore. I get it. It's politically incorrect to smoke, and there's a lot of non-smokers that really voice their opinion, which that's fine. I mean, but let's get down to this point: is that Norwegian? I felt they were rude. And by the way, I'll have a full review. I took some video and stuff of my Norwegian cruise, which will be another video, and kind of show you the boat and everything else. Uh, as far as the whole Norwegian cruise experience, cost wise and everything else, I'd give them maybe 2.5, 3 stars out of 5. Uh, Food wasn't that great. It was okay. I felt like that there was a big language barrier. 2/3 of the employees could barely speak English. There was I wouldn't say they were rude, but they were not as friendly as most other cruises. I mean, we're on a vacation. I expect to be treated like, especially for the cost of the money that it costs a cruise. I say 3,200. That's just the cruise. That doesn't include my airfare, hotels. You're talking this. A typical 7-day cruise is a $5,000 expenditure. If I'm going to spend $5,000, I want to have a damn good time the whole time I'm there, and I sure to hell don't want to be being picked on about a habit, because I promise you, we all got habits, and there's lots of people that have got a lot of other habits I don't like that I like to segregate them too. But anyway, that's my take on the Norwegian Escape smoking policy. Thank you.